Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Please correct me if I'm mistaken. Angel Reese seemed like a huge deal to me. I believed she was a box office attraction for those who could afford it. Sponsors. Angel Reese fans will be furious. I can tell you that. Ice Cube. You saw the TMZ headline. I apologize, Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark was the only recipient of the $5 million offer. Oh, things are going to get ugly. Angel Reese recently discovered the hard way that not everyone, including Ice Cube, is buying into the hype. She is prepared to make money with the big three in a moment. Her next search is for how to bounce back from public rejection. Sponsors abandon the event. Nah, Cube replied. And Caitlin Clark is out here drinking Gatorade and stacking victories. This meltdown may be louder than her whole highlight reel, so fasten your seatbelt. Let's examine the turmoil, the spectacle, and the bitter tears of a bargain gone horribly wrong. I'm not really able to defend myself. I mean, my teammates are amazing. My network of support is excellent. I got my hometown. My family is there to defend me. Since I just attempt to ignore things and keep my composure, I don't really get to voice my opinions. I mean, I've experienced a lot. I've witnessed a lot. I've had so many attacks. I've been sexualized, threatened death, and many other things, but I've always stood my ground. Express Delivery just gave Angel Reese a reality check. She was dreaming of being the star of Ice Cub's Big Three League, planning her post-WNBA empire, and possibly even picturing courtside interviews in which she would nonchalantly discuss her influence on the game. Next 1 minute, one bang. Her eyelashes did a double take when the door slammed so forcefully. After taking a hard look at the proposal, Ice Cube, the man who practically converted gangster rap into a basketball business, answered, "Yeah, we're good." This week, the rapper-turned-league founder clarified that the snub wasn't personal, but rather business-related. Business, that's all it is. But you're going to personalize it. Similar to how you guys are personalizing Candace Parker, you guys act like you're on the same level as anyone who doesn't lie, and you take it personally. All of you are going to do is that. You're only going to do that. That's all. Consequently, in the end, look, Ice Cube was offering the bag, and we were wondering. Caitlin said no when he offered her that baggy bag. "No, buddy, I can't even help you," Caitlin said. "You must obtain it independently." "I'm not doing it, am I?" Let's be honest. Attempting to secure the bag and even Ice Cube was a challenge for Mr. Today. "That's not just a red flag," he says. "Fam, that's the whole Soviet parade marching through your career." And you know the rejection hit deep when the sponsors, not the offer, become the first thing to disappear. Yes, the brands didn't just pull back, they disappeared like Reese's jump shot in a pressure game. They're going to come and get Ice Cube. We know how this works. It won't be long, but the AR5 fans will seek and destroy or try to, because that's standard operating procedure for them. With that, the skincare deal, the energy drink, and whatever crypto nonsense was hanging around waiting for relevance for Ice Cube are gone. Cube because Ice Cube has come out and told everyone the harsh truth, and part of this just confirms what we've been telling you. And while all of this was going on, Caitlin Clark was off somewhere taking care of herself, gathering statistics, grinning in high-def ads, and earning more money for blinking than most rookies do for perspiring. Truth, Angel's PR team doesn't want to touch her because she's not Caitlin Clark. She's not on the court, in the media, and most definitely not at the sponsorship table. Ice Cube had a fallback plan, right? The media claims that there are multiple stars in the WNBA dump, and that multiple players are responsible for the growth of pretend basketball. Since Caitlin Clark turned down the offer, we responded, "We can't pay Angel Reese, but Ice Cube could offer Angel Reese the same deal." The WNBA is not this. Our goal is to turn a profit. The NBA does not provide us with the luxury of subsidies. We must have a return on our investment if we are giving a player millions of dollars. Look, while Angel continues to argue over checkers, Caitlin plays chess. Caitlin is not interested in making headlines. She is pursued by headlines. She is the type of player that leagues are built around. Angel is the type of athlete who causes leagues to become anxious during press conferences. There is a significant difference. Caitlin arrives, drops 30, and leaves as if she were going to breakfast. Angel arrives, slams into people, misses layups, and questions why Nike hasn't returned his calls. You could practically hear the Hollywood record scratching when Ice Cube learned that Angel's name was being floated for the Big Three by her team. Because you don't want someone who adds more drama than buckets to a league that is already struggling for mainstream oxygen. He has no desire to serve as the referee for yet another tale of unfollow fights and Instagram tirades. Instead of walking think pieces, he wants hoopers and ballers. As a result, Angel lost the impression that her brand was impervious to criticism, in addition to losing a payment. And that's the most painful part. Could a hefty proposition from Angel Reese be the next move for the Hoops League, given that the Big Three's $5 million offer to Caitlin Clark never materialized? You don't know ball? Tell me. I mean, really don't expect it. There won't be a deal presented to Angel Reese anytime soon, according to Ice Cube, who was interviewed by TMZ Sports at LAX this week. Whoosh! I hear a sound. What is it? That's simmering. I think that's what right now I'm listening. Remember, this is the same player that based her entire persona on the "you can't see me" flex, only to discover that no one has been paying any attention lately. Ratings are honest. Fans are honest. And of all people, Ice Cube is undoubtedly honest. Not with his wallets involved in particular. Let the terror begin. The sponsors' phone calls are silent. Instagram stories appear to be much more filtered and less glamorous. Suddenly, they don't despise me because I'm self-assured. That's why our emails aren't getting a response. The energy quickly shifted from Bayou Barbie to Budget Barbie. Angel is over here in the interim, attempting a quick rebrand, but the internet never forgets. Everything is recorded, including every inane remark, every failed flex, and every time out devoted to argument rather than planning. The sponsors are also not stupid. The chamber was read by them. They witnessed who the supporters support and who they scoff at. The first gangster, it's really depressing, disappeared. Went into hiding as a result of the utter rage and lunacy of Angel Reese's fans over this brief video in which they discuss taking her to the Big Three leagues and, compare her to Compton-born Caitlin Clark, the man who initiated a revolution in the rap industry. Insane. Additionally, there is the team player component, which is where the disparity is most noticeable. Caitlin has been locked in since day one. She's there whether she's scoring or supporting from the sidelines. Angel, she improves the team. Let's just say that when she gets benched, her enthusiasm inexplicably disappears. The distinction between a liability and a leader, it's day and night. And guess who gets ads during the day? Therefore, Caitlin is most likely signing another endorsement, performing at a charity event, and nonchalantly hitting half-court shots with the same grace some people hit snooze buttons, while Angel is out there panicking and searching Google for ways to recover from being iced by Ice Cube. She possessed the spotlight, the stage, and the viral moment. However, rather of steadily and gracefully expanding upon it, she leaned into the mayhem, the off-court distractions, the clapbacks, and the theatrical rivalries. And the sponsors, who were waiting for her to change course while holding their breath. She didn't. Instead, they turned around and went directly to Caitlin's email. Ice Cube claimed that in exchange for a contract to play in a Big Three, he gave Caitlin Clark, also known as My Beloved CC, $5 million and, as she should have, she declined. She ultimately wants to play in the WNBA, and I support that decision. I admire Ice Cube more though because he told you that we are the same color and that he is famous. When he said that Angel Reese wasn't good enough, you all assumed he was being hateful. Additionally, the sponsorship didn't feel the same way. When the day is over, they desired my precious Cece, also known as Caitlin. The lesson is as old as the league itself. Respect is cash, but attention is cool. Furthermore, fear breaks out when the wealthy begin to choose respect over loudness. Angel believed that she was the time. Moments pass, especially when the next one is subtly outperforming you while you're still vying for the attention of the comment section. It turns out that she was a moment. Thus, here we are. Once hailed as the league's new face, Angel Reese is now being turned down by a league she believed she could rule. As if she had just released a mixtape of missed layups, sponsors are backing out. An Ice Cube, still lounging, still cashing, payments and presumably appreciating his gut for avoiding a PR bomb disguised in attitude and lashes. Because ultimately, the game doesn't give a damn about your fan base. Your follow-through is important to it. Nevertheless, the Reese versus Clark argument continues to emerge from the group chat like an uninvited zombie. Why? Why do we continue to act as though these two are part of the same solar system? There is a whole constellation in Caitlin Clark. Growing talent, rising stock, and increased ratings. Big Three sponsors didn't, according to Ice Cube, have the same opinion on Angel Reese as Caitlin Clark. He claimed that working with Caitlin simply allowed the league to access millions of cash. Regarding Angel, they told us different things. Walks, money talks. Does Caitlin Clark still have the offer? Well, no. We've, moved on. Well, she appears to be concentrating on the WNBA. Additionally, we didn't receive a lot of response from their team regarding the offer. I believe the agents were rather critical of it. What was the offer? Angel Reese, meanwhile, is out here standing in for the Department of Lost Opportunities and Misguided Attitude. It is no longer even a rivalry. The duct tape is a cosmic misfit, gathered by those who continue to believe that volume is equivalent to value. This isn't a basketball feud. Let's face it, resentment with a twist. Every coach wishes they could do what Clark is doing, making networks salivate, improving colleagues, and creating newsworthy stories. She's creating content, not confidence. Angel Reese's outspokenness does not make her loathed. She continues to cash checks that her stat sheet cannot support, which makes her controversial. Things quickly start to go apart when your reputation surpasses your output. It has also been unfolding in high HD lately. Angel Reese's confidence keeps others interested. They're worn out from lacking confidence. CDIC clutch becomes noisy. But I have one more thing to say about Ice Cube. The fact that Ice Cube has long portrayed himself as a pro-Black individual who cares about his neighborhood and fellow Black people is another aspect of him that irritates me. Therefore, I find it offensive that he used this opportunity to make any negative remarks about a Black woman. What irritates me about Cube's actions is this. He based it on claims made by Angel a year ago. Reese made. Correct. However, this is out of context because she did not state that she was unable to pay her debts. She claimed that if her WNBA income was all she had to live on, she wouldn't be able to pay her bills. She is receiving more money than that, though. Nevertheless, a brave person chose to throw an Ice Cube into the mixer. Really? So we're doing this now? I would choose Angel Reese over Ice Cube if I had to choose between the two. All right, great. That's like having to decide between an ancient VCR and a mushy waffle. Why do we even act as though something falls under the same category? And now Cube is being hauled along for what? Bless his erratic, bucket hat-wearing heart? Denying Angel a contract as if she were a member of the basketball elite. These same people would have hailed Cube's signing of Angel as significant and audacious. However, he didn't. Then all of a sudden, he is a villain. Welcome to 2025, a time when opinions are accompanied by optional nuance and memory loss. If we're being honest, the Ice Cube slander is more about Ree's embarrassment at being rejected than it is about Cube. She didn't simply be rejected. A league that genuinely needs attention openly swerved her, had a clever strategy to expand his league. In order to enter the Big Three, he gave Caitlin Clark $15 million. She would be paid $10 million over a 2-year period. He offered Caitlin Clark a share in the business, which might be valued at millions of dollars. Additionally, he granted her ownership of a Big Three documentary and a 7-figure advance, in addition to 50% of the merchandise sales. Although the deal was valued at $15 million, it had the potential to be much more. The burn is that, typically, Big Three doesn't become viral. They must go viral. And they declined their gratitude as well. It's similar to getting rejected by the sole person in line at a karaoke bar. Indeed, it's becoming tiresome to see people attempt to spin this as a competence fight rather than any sort of culture war. You can be flamboyant, boisterous, and popular, but you're simply a high-top distraction if you can't be there when it counts. Who speaks more is not the point of this. It all comes down to who delivers. Furthermore, pointing fingers at Ice Cube won't alter the scoreboard. Let's not pretend that Caitlin Clark is clamoring for brand deals. Businesses are swarming her with cash as if she were the first 10 picks in the NBA draft. She is not required to create moments. The broadcasters, the spectators, and the sponsors all took notice. Simply observe the camera time. Caitlin Clark's game-changing passes might be timed to the second. Angels are interrupted in the middle of their tirade. Guys, the Indiana Fever played the Chicago Sky on Barbie night today, and it goes without saying that I was impressed by Chicago. Fight the Sky. They were outmatched. They were completely outmatched because, as I mentioned, they made an effort. This is the first time I've seen this guy attempt for an entire game without Angel Reese and Ariel Atkins, and I just want to support my teammates because I don't want them to think less of me. All of this has happened since I won the national title, and I mentioned the other day that I haven't had peace since then. I just want to know that I'm still a human. The worst part is that Angel fans appear more interested in making fun of everyone else than in genuinely requesting that she do better. It becomes a cultural incident the moment someone criticizes her court appearance, shot selection, or temper. Caitlin, meanwhile, may jog back on defense as if nothing had happened, drain a logo three, and take a hard foul smile. That isn't considered privilege. However, he is suddenly MAGA nearby and canceled by association because he decided not to board the hype train. Simply express your anger that Angel was ignored and carry on. Why would you want to join his league if he's simply some MAGA mascot? Either he does or does not. You have no right to accuse someone of disregarding your CV after pleading for their attention. People continue to act as though it is unfair to be compared to Clark. Caitlin is not your typical person. She was the norm. That's not something you can compete with by complaining. You accomplish this via improving, to occasionally underpay. Angel Reese in order to avoid paying Caitlin Clark behind Sarah D. Clark, Caitlin. As it turns out, he claims that he was unable to give her and Angel Reese $5 million since he was feeling well, and the sponsors believe that the markability will be different. However, it appears like Angel's camp is more concerned with appearances than results. Each time she is benched, it's presented as some amazing disrespect. Sitting out, however, can occasionally be tactical rather than personal. And perhaps they are not the problem if the coach finds greater value elsewhere. The way someone responds to rejection can reveal their level of focus. Caitlin didn't even bat an eyelid, but she missed the Olympics. After Angel is passed over, by the Big Three, a 3-day sympathy tour is abruptly organized. Resilience is not that. The younger generation is inspired by one, while the other blocks them on Twitter for stating the obvious. At this point, the only similarity between Ree and Clark, if we're being completely honest, is that they both wear sneakers. The argument is over. The story was revealed by the numbers. The fine print was read by the sponsors. And the most astute move of all was made by Ice Cube, whichever cap he is wearing. He gave the circus a courteous nod and walked.